my name's Hayley Beresford and I live in Germany. I run the stable Eisenhof with my partner Jule Fehl. And at Eisenhof we've got 26 horses here from 3-year-olds to Grand Prix. We have 5 dogs and 3 cats as well, so every day is quite an adventure with our little family. And Jule is responsible mainly for the young horses coming through. And in the moment I've got a really nice, interesting team developing. And we have on the stable we have 4 Grand Prix horses in the moment. And 2 of them are competing internationally. And a really nice team coming up behind them as well. So yeah, we're having a good time. We've been at Eisenhof now for 5.5 years with the businesses together. And in the last 3 years we've won the Landeschampionship with the 3-year-old, 4-year-old and 5-year-old. So, and they're still here in the stable in training. So the future's looking quite good with the talent we have got coming through. I wouldn't say I wanted to be a professional horse rider. I mean, I was born into a horsey family. My father was a show jumper, and my mum was riding dressage and show horse. So I was very privileged and lucky that horses were a part of my life quite early. I knew I wanted to be a sports person, and yeah, whether it was triathlon or whether it was running or jumping or whatever, but I played a lot of sport, and I knew I always wanted to go to the Olympics. I wasn't sure if it would be with horses, but yeah, when I kind of grew into it, and then I did want to have a career as something else. I did want to keep riding as my hobby, but I wasn't passionate enough about anything else as I am with this. So my sport, my hobby is my passion, is my job, is my career. So that's kind of how it evolved and is evolving every day, every week, every month. As I said before, I was born into a horsey environment, so I've had horses around me longer than I can remember, and I think I was sat on a horse as a baby. And with my parents, I had the opportunity always with my first pony. It was a Shetland while Dad was show jumping. I was the only way to keep me safe, and I actually remember being locked in the sheep yards, and I had to be able to get out of the sheep yards with my pony before I was allowed to go out and ride in the paddock. And I grew up like every country kid in Australia gets a chance with Pony Club, and I had every opportunity to jump and to do novelties and to do fancy dress on the shows, and show horse riding of course was a big part of my life at the beginning. And I think I feel that this was really an important time of my life, because I did really learn how to present the horses and ride a lot of different type of horses. I was show jumping, and I thought this was actually going to be more my direction, and I really liked it as well. I still do really like it. Eventing, I'm not so brave, and then I get over brave and kamikaze, so this is not a good thing for me. Jule's an eventing rider before, and she does a really good job with the young horses, and she can keep this job. So yeah, I think Pony Club system in Australia was a really good background, and I got really to test everything I could imagine. I think I was destined actually to always come to Germany. I met Isabell when I was quite young. I was just 21, and I did have the opportunity to come to Germany earlier, but I was studying, and still in this time I didn't believe that horse riding and dressage would be my career, and I was determined to make another job first, and then riding as a hobby. So I declined at the beginning to come to Germany, and I think this was a good thing as well, because when the opportunity arose and I met Isabell a few years later, I think I was ready then. And I think I was mature enough to travel to the other side of the world and to be able to handle the culture differences and being away from my family. And when I decided to come to the other side of the world, and I did take Isabell up on the offer of working in her stables, I mean, I was determined and I was doing it for a reason. And when I had the conversation with Isabell, like, you know, if I'm coming, am I good enough? Will I become a Grand Prix rider? And Isabell said, yes, you will. And she told me she needed 4 years to make me a Grand Prix rider. And 2 years later, she made me good enough to go to the Olympics. So, you know, I got really a chance with Isabell, and I mean, I took it and I worked as hard as I could. And Isabell really gave a lot of opportunity and opened every door, and I wouldn't see it any other way now. Oh, I hope there's a lot that people don't know about me. I was a member of the Australian Youth Orchestra for quite a few years when I was younger. I played the flute. A typical day, a really typical day, my alarm clock goes off at 4:30 a.m. I get out of bed around 4:45. Coffee is first, it's paramount, and then I'm in the office until 6. I feed the horses myself at 6 o'clock, and I do the hay and I check everything and I organize my day, what I've got coming up with the horses, what they're going to do, and what the staff has to accomplish that day. And I spend that quiet time in the stables for an hour, and then our team comes in at 7. We all muck out, we all do the stables together, Eula and I included, so we do it, we call it the morning run. And that includes doing the stables, mucking out, fresh straw in. All the horses go through the walking machine, so that every horse is in the first couple of hours of the day actually been out of the stable and walked. Then we have breakfast, everyone has breakfast, and then we start with riding. And we ride until we're done. Sometimes we're done a bit earlier, and sometimes we're not done. And we're done, but our jobs aren't done. But we try to manage as much as we can in the day. I do a lot of teaching as well. We try to get all of the high school horses done early. And then I will normally have to start teaching, and Eula will spend the time with the young horses. And quite often this is a team effort as well, because I'm on the ground and Eula gets to sit on top. It depends. We have to do like quite a few national shows. So every horse that's in training, we will have goals set for the year together with the owners of the horses and what we want to accomplish with the horse for the year. So we'll have, with the younger horses, we have to concentrate a lot on the national competitions. And as a team, we'll make up a plan with the babies. We try to get each baby out, and like the first shows, Eula and I will always try to do this together. But then when Eula's up and running with the horses, she will quite often be able to go off to a national show by herself and a groom, and I will be at Eisenhof. And then when I have to go away with the older horses, I mean, we really like to go off to the shows together, but when we have such a busy stable at home, it's not always possible. So one of us will always be at home. And then when I go to the international shows, it's always more days away with the vet check and everything. So that's, we just have to, we work together to achieve the goals of each horses and each owner and ourselves. And we have to compromise and balance and juggle. And I think it's the same in every stable. My biggest achievements is for sure till now the Olympic Games. In 2008, I went to Hong Kong with a Lusitano stallion named Relampigo, and this was the most amazing experience of my life. The last time I was selected for my country, I mean, it was relief because we've been working so hard towards it, and I was like, oh, wow, we finally did it. No, it's a really special thing when you get to ride for your country and represent your country. You know, it's a big fight to finally to get to the point where you represent the country, and then it's like, oh, I hope I do a good enough job. I hope I can manage this. I hope I don't let the team down. And yeah, it's a very emotional experience. But my goals for the coming years, I have goals for my horses and I have goals for my business. And my business I share together with Eula, so we're having goals that we always want to develop the stables, we always want to improve the property, we always want to improve our facilities and our customer service. We don't want the business to get bigger. We don't want to have more horses in training because it is just the two of us. We do want to every year be better. That's our biggest dream. We do want every year to have better horses, performing better, going on the bigger shows, and do the best we really can. We do both want to come up into the big sport. For me, with my horses, what is really important for me is the journey with each horse. And sometimes the journey starts when the horses we have a collection of foals that have grown up. For example, the horse we won the Landers Championat with this year was a foal that I bought when she was 6 weeks old. And then we always have to sit together each few months and we say, okay, we're going to sell this one, or no, we're going to keep this one. You know, we make the plan like this, and we're never really sure which horses are going to stay on because they have to keep accomplishing the goals. And sometimes the owners change their minds what they want to do with the horses as well. And then my personal goals, of course, I want to be good enough to be on the team. I want to be good enough to go to the Olympics. I want to do the World Championships. I want to do it all, and I really do want to be good enough to do it. And I would really like to be involved in training some others that are good enough to come there as well.